I got into baseball, everything was fine. I was a very strict Catholic, and I was living my life, I think, the way I should. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, you get peer pressure, and you think, well, you got to be one of the guys. Because I found myself at one point sneaking to Mass. And I look back now and go, what the heck was I doing?
After more than a quarter century in Major League Baseball, Dodgers third base coach Rich Donnelly has earned a reputation for being one of the best and most experienced coaches in the game.
Rich Donnelly in the coaching box at third said before the game today that he would love to stay warm by just kind of waving that left arm around.
While coaching third base for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the spring of 1992, Donnelly received a phone call from his teenage daughter, Amy, telling him she had a brain tumor.
You know, probably the hardest thing I ever had to swallow in my life, along with my wife and all my other kids and everybody else in the family. But I felt for her. I felt for Amy. She was 16, 17, in the prime of her life, having fun, and all of a sudden, you know, it might be over in a year.
After an operation and chemotherapy, Amy's life expectancy was only 9 to 12 months. But her love of life and love of the game of baseball hadn't diminished.
When she was getting her chemo, in fact, the fall of '92, the Pirates were in the playoffs with the Atlanta Braves, and we're driving back after the game, and she's in the back of the car, and she reaches up and she goes, Dad, she goes, when you get down in that stance on third base and you cup your hands, she says, what are you telling those guys? That chicken runs at midnight or what? And I went, what? I said, where'd you come up with that one? She says, I don't know, it just came out. She sent me a note in Atlanta, and it says, Dear Dad, the chicken runs at midnight, love, Amy.
The chicken runs at midnight would become the family motto, but Amy couldn't run away from the effects of her treatment.
Doctor came in one morning and just said, Richie's not going to make it. And, it was January 28th, 1993, and she passed away. We went to the cemetery. They asked us what do we want on her tombstone. And we all just sort of laughed. And we said we want the chicken runs at midnight. That's Amy. She would have wanted that.
Amy's death was a turning point for Rich Donnelly. He came back to his Catholic faith from which he had strayed. 4 years after Amy's death, Donnelly finally made it to the World Series, coaching the Florida Marlins. It was the bottom of the 11th inning in Game 7, and the Marlins' Craig Counsell stepped up to the plate.
Craig Counsell, our kids call him the chicken man, because when he hit, he flapped his arms like a chicken, you know, way up high.
Counsell punches it to the right side.
Counsell would advance to third base, setting the stage for the dramatic ending.
Anthony Renteria got a base hit, scored Craig Counsell. We win the World Series. Total pandemonium at Pro Player Stadium, 67,000 people. Fans all over the field. Everybody's going crazy, and all of a sudden I'm trying to find my son, Tim and Mike, and I see Tim and Mike, and they both run up to me, and Tim is hysterical. And he's crying. And he says, Dad, look. And he's screaming, look. I said, what do you mean, look? He said, look up at the clock. I had no idea what he was talking about. I looked behind me at the clock, the stadium clock. It was 12 o'clock midnight. He said, Dad, the chicken ran at midnight. I was stunned. Because every emotion in my body was just limp. The chicken ran at midnight. Like she said, 4 years earlier, how'd she know? That incident sort of capped off my coming back to my religion and getting back to where I'm supposed to be and getting back to where you should be as a person, I think.